might be in business. All right, so got you on Discord. I made you governor. I left the guild. Um, so if you look just above your base and to the left, I'll show the spot kind of in zone. You'll run your strongest tank march out there. Um, no, you're fine right where you're at. So I just shared a location on zone chat. Yeah, just your best tank march. Just put it out there. Uh, sure. All right. So the purpose of this video, guys, is to. Oh no, you don't have to go way up there. Just you can stop right where you're at. Yep, perfect. All right. The purpose of this video, guys, is to teach you field fighting 101 for fighting with your T5, how to fight against really strong guys, T6 players. So I've left the guild. So Wrench here, you see his army. So he's got just one, T5, T6 mix tank march out. If I'm going to fight that march, I want to do it from my base. So I'm going to bring my base in so that it's close to his march. Now that I'm close to his march, you don't need to do this. I'm just going to scout so you guys can see. Go to this. So I see he's got maxed AKs, maxed Elsa Eva, maxed Acosta, 314,000 units, and 50,000 of that's T6. When I fight him, I come out with uh, just my standard strongest T5 tank march. And I hit him. Even though it's my strongest march, he's going to mow me. So you see me just getting mowed here. Now he's taking a little bit of damage, but it's really hurting me. So I'm going to pull that in, and we'll look at what that report looks like. So I'm taking almost double the seriously wounded in 10 seconds of fighting him as he's taking from me. Granted, I have a really strong Colorado, um, and I've got Max Eva, Max Elsa, and AKs. You guys may not yet. If I go to the troop boosts, and you can reload Grinch if you'll just reload and put the same march out. Tank attack, he's got me beat. Tank defense, he's got me beat. Tank health, he's got me beat. So he's stronger in attack, defense, and health than I am, with stronger units and a higher confidentiality level. He's got a lot more green on his side than I do. And there we go. Troop base buffs. You'll see on his T5s themselves are stronger than me. Plus, he has T6. So his confidentiality level is one more than unit wise. he also has a few thousand more troops starting than I do. So how do I fight a guy like this who's stronger than me and beat him? Now, this battle report, and we're going to save it, is a 10-second battle report. So we're going to use this as our control. Star that message. So now he's reloaded his march. He's put it out here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attack him for 1 second, and then I'm going to pull that march right back in. And in 1 second of fighting, you'll see that I took 1,000 seriously damaged, but he took 2,000. Well, how does that figure out? Because that isn't that like the opposite of what we were supposed to see? Well, there's a couple reasons for this that it could be. One is, I'll back out of it here. Go to officers. Some of these officers have a chance to do things. So let me see if I can find one in here. Chance to deal counterattack damage. A 30% chance to deal. So it's possible in that 1 second that I gained that extra chance, and that he didn't. And it could be a number of factors like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeatedly attack him like that for 1 second. So you'll see it's just a 1 second battle duration. So in this one, it was I took more seriously damage than he. So you see how those chances can greatly affect the outcome, but I'm only hitting for 1 second at a time. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this 10 times or up to 10 seconds. This one was a 2-second hit. And you'll see that we're about even on it. 1,000 for him, 1,200 for me. And what I'm trying to do is to not hit for more than 1 second. I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. So this one was a 3-second hit. Now, look, he's taking way more seriously damaged than I am. Now, keep in mind, he's got 50,000 T6 in here. And what I'm doing, you'll look at his health bar. Let me zoom in here where you can really see it. His health bar is down. And that's happening because I'm reloading every time, but he's not. So I am stronger every single time I hit him, and he is weaker every time I hit him. These seriously damaged are the units that you're sending that are going to the garage. Lightly damaged units, those are units that are just removed from the battlefield. They're just gone. So you'll see that we're both getting a lot of units removed from the battle, but I keep coming back with more units in my march every time. And I want to do this. So you see that he did a lot more seriously damaged that time, so his chance to deal whatever damage kicked in at that point. If I do this across the board, we don't want to hit for more than 1 second. That's a 5-second hit. That's not good. When I see that the seriously damaged is better for me, and I mean a lot better, so this is just a little bit better. This is pretty average. When I see that it's going to be a lot better, that's when I'm going to actually want to fight him for longer amounts of time. So here he's still getting me on, it's really not eaten down enough to be beneficial for me. Still pretty even. So instead of letting that battle continue where he's at a stronger position than me, just by doing this over and over again, I'm always coming back with a full march. Now look, he's down to 254,000 units in his march. Now he's still getting more seriously damaged on me, but keep in mind, we'll go look at it. I'm putting T6 in his garage, and those are a lot better for points for us, and it's also going to cost him more to repair. I'm not trying to. You'll see that his march. You'll see this little gap right here in the middle of his march. That's one way that you can tell that he's not got a full march right now. Now, at a certain point, what I don't, and I'll just do this a couple of times real quick. This is in real time what it's supposed to look like. It should be attack, retreat, attack, retreat. So it's almost like I'm not losing any units, but he is. Every single time I'm attacking, I'm getting stronger. Now, as his health bar here goes lower and lower, I should start seeing better returns on investment. That's not a very good one. That's not good. That's not too bad. Still not good. So I want to keep these hits really quick. Just really quick. Still not quite there yet. There we go. That's a little bit better for us than it is for him. That's better for us than him. I want this to be consistently better. And then once I see that it's actually a lot better for me, it's still pretty even there. There we go. So it's looking like I'm starting to get a little bit better. Now, if I come out and I do a 10-second hit, let's see what that looks like. One. You can tell it's 10 seconds by watching that yellow bar. It should fill up every 10 seconds. That should be a 10-second hit. Oh, it's 11. So I let the skill amplifier on. Now look, how much better of a hit is it when he's got a lot less units in it? So a 10-second hit where he has less units, I get a better trade on this guy. All right, Grinch, go ahead and reload. And let me ask you, if you repair your troops right now, how many do you have in the garage? Oh wow, you put 70,000 in my garage. All right, do you have a 50% boost you can use for troop capacity? Do you mind using it? Now, usually when you're fighting the big whales, guys like Grinch, Black Sheep, they're usually they're running a 50% march capacity. So I want y'all to get the full benefit of seeing what this is like. 428,880 units. He's got 50,000 T5 in there. This is pretty standard. Sometimes the guys will run 100,000 T6 in there, but usually it's going to be 50,000 or 100,000. Now, if I run out and hit him, he's got a lot more troops in there than what we were having before. This guy's going to absolutely mow my 310,000. What I do, I run not a 50%. You see, I've got 27 50%, but I've got 19 60% March expansion. So I get an extra 10% out of it. So let's look at what a 50% March expansion is. So 424,000. It's going to be exactly the same on returns as what we saw previously, running like this. So my 50% March expansion, because he's running a 50%, it's pretty much going to be just about the same. 424,000, and he is 428,000. If, however, I use a 60%, instead of 424,000, I'm at 447,000. Well, I've got a considerable amount more than he does as far as units. So let's look at what this is when I do a 1 second hit. Hopefully 1 second. Keep going to 2. See about how that's even? What we're doing is we're just restacking to have a full march, as much of that battle as we're having with them as possible. This is why you want to be fighting out of your base with this. Fighting out of a tower, you're not really reloading. A lot of these big guys, they're used to just running these marches out and just leaving them out. So I'm going to have to do this a little bit to kind of wear them down. Y'all might have seen me fight like this a lot, where I'll just hit for a second, retreat. What I'm doing is I'm having the amount of battles where it's removing the most troops from him as possible out of his march, while costing me the least repairs possible. I'll just do this repeatedly over and over. And most of the time, and y'all have seen them do this, they'll just leave. So here's 8 fights. And where we're going to see the benefit here is every single one of these fights, he's got less and less troops in his march. So seriously damaged and lightly damaged. Even though he's taking these big chunks out of me, I'm reloading each time. And if I wasn't, it would be absolutely devastating on the returns. Ooh, that won't hurt. Grinch, your march is like stupid strong. Yeah, also keep in mind, like, Grinch is stronger than like anybody we've fought in this fight. So, um, We'll do it a couple more times. We're trying to really get his troop count lower. But this is giving me the best return per second of fight than if I just let it continue on. All I'm really doing, I'm just making his march a little weaker, biting his ankles down until he's bite size. Getting closer here. There we go. There's one where I got more than on him than he got on me. So there's always that, a little bit of a chance. But the only reason I'm really getting there is because that march is getting weaker and weaker. What I usually will do, so you'll see I got a better hit that time. He got a better hit. He got a better hit. Good. How do I know if I'm getting a better hit? Well, when I go to attack him, I don't need to go look at these reports every time like I'm doing. What I should be able to do, you'll see that there's these numbers that appear in the battle above the combat. So you'll see some white, sometimes you'll see red, sometimes you'll see green, sometimes you'll see pink color appear, or magenta. Those colors mean different things of what's going on in the combat. The white number is the base combat damage that's being dealt. That is your normal attack and your counter attack put together. That's going to be in the white. What I want to see when I attack him in that 1 second, I want to see the white number above his troops be larger than the white number that's above my troops. That lets me know I'm dealing more damage to him in that second than he's doing. Pretty even there. I'm still really not. And some of these guys that are really strong, it might take a lot to get them down far enough where it's going to be worth doing a prolonged fight. So still got me close to even, but I want to be ahead. So I'm fairly ahead in this situation. Now I'm starting to pull ahead. So 447,000 units for me, 270,000 for him. Once I'm reaching a point where I'm getting better returns, I don't want to immediately go in and do a long fight. I want to wear him down just a little bit more. See, I'm still not getting the good returns that I want. It's still pretty even if you drop 10,000 units. Now, for some of these guys, you're not going to have to eat them down quite so far as you do Grinch. But Grinch has really good stats. So if I were to total it up right now, and we'll just go through the reports all the way up to where he was full. We're gonna go even, and then we're gonna look at if we get more and he gets more. So this is pretty even. We're not gonna worry about this one. Pretty even. Pretty even. So he got about 200 more on me than I got on him. I got 200 more on him, so that's still even. Even. Look at how many of the reports are pretty even. So in this one, he got 1,500 on even, and it's because I'm hitting it for 1 second and recalling. Now he's got another 5,000. So he's got 6,500 units on it. Another 1,000, 7,500 units on it. Another 1,000. And if I keep going through this, and 1,000, you start to notice some patterns. So here I got a couple of thousand on him. But let's say maybe he's put 20,000 more in my garage than I put in his garage. I'd say that's pretty close to accurate, 20, 25,000. So I need to make up for a 25,000 deficit. So I'm making an investment when I fight them. That one's pretty bad. I don't know what happened. Just some really good critical hits on it. So let's say I need to make up. I probably need to make up about 40,000 deficit. Still not getting the traits that I want to see. So I don't want to do an extended fight until I'm starting to see much better traits. So usually what I'm doing is I'm hitting a couple of times like this. I'm watching the numbers. It's pretty even. What I'm really going to do, I don't need to check all these reports. I just need to check the most recent one. Still not getting the returns I want. I have almost 240,000 more units in my marks than he does. And I'm still not getting a lot better returns than I'm getting a little bit better. So I'm starting to make up some ground a little bit, but it's still pretty even. That's okay. More than likely, if I'm running a strong tank march, though, when he's down in the orange, that's usually when I'm going to strike. So, Grinch, I do apologize. This is going to cost us some speed ups, but now, do I want to go all the way? No. I'm going to get a good hit. I'm immediately going to come back with a full march and hit again. But I'm going to let it hit for a little bit longer. I still want to keep my march as full as possible. So at least every 10 seconds, when that skill damage fires off and he does a bunch of damage to me, so you'll see it here in red. Boom. You see that red appear? It didn't show it, but that's what I'm going to want to reload it again. So now look, better return on the longer fight. Better return on the longer fight. I'm slowly biting those ankles. Now I got 10,000 more on the 10 seconds. So you're going to hit your best hit on that 10-second mark. But look how far down I had to eat his troops before I was getting better traits. Like, that's a lot. Most of these guys, you don't have to eat them quite that far down. So, Grinch, I'm not going to eat the rest of your troops. You can reload. Yeah, yeah. If you would, um, let me know your total. I want to know your total time on healing, the amount of troops, so we can compare. All right. Okay. I've got more repair time. I'm 3 days and 10 hours. So I've got an extra day of repairs than you do. I've got 117,000 in the garage. You said you had 95,000. And what is your repair cost on that? Boom. we have the same repair costs. This is where we make them pay blood. It's costing him the same amount as it is for me to repair. Now, I have a little bit higher repair time. Keep in mind, I'm not in the War Guild, so there's some benefits to being in the War Guild on repair time. But I'm basically taking a stronger guy and I'm making the repair time and the repair cost about the same for a T6 guy stronger than me fighting him as a T5. So we can look at what that is. So I'm at even basically. So if you'll heal up, march that same march out. This time we're going to do a longer battle. We're going to do it over maybe 40 seconds, just head to head. And I want everyone to see what the difference on that repair cost is going to be if I just hit you and I don't reload. All right, so here he is. I'm just going to let the fight go on for a little. So we know that skill fires off about every 10 seconds. So we'll say let it fire off. Twice now, maybe. I think that's going to be pretty close. Yep. So that's 77,000 in my garage, 38,000 in your garage. Let's check the repair time on that. So for me, I'm at 77,000 in the garage. I'm 21 million, 21 million, and 10.5 million in cost. How are you looking? So your repair cost has now half of my repair cost. So by doing that one long prolonged attack, I instead of it being about even in repair time or repair cost, now what I've done is instead I've made the repair cost a lot cheaper for you than it is for me. So it's basically half. With that, of course, the time is going to be similar as well. All right, Grinch, if you would, um, like, do you have any questions about like what we've done here so far? Is there anything? Okay, so the idea is I'm constantly reloading to stack the most troops in my march for combat as possible, as much as possible. I don't want my troop count to get low because I'm removing the benefit. By constantly reloading out of my base, fighting from my base like this, if Wrench doesn't reload, then even though he might seem to be doing better, the repair cost at the end of the day, I'm making him pay the same amount as me. Points wise, it means that we're going to be pretty similar. Now, imagine if I did this against somebody who wasn't as strong as Grinch. So keep in mind, I'm not in a guild right now. Grinch is vastly stronger in attack and defense than me, plus the T6 units, plus the confidentiality. Right. So he's he's a vastly stronger enemy, and I've already cut it down to where we're evenly matched just because I'm reloading my troops. There's really quick hits, reload. I'm just letting all those lightly damaged and seriously damaged exit his march. So Grinch, if you would, can you march out like 20,000 troops and just give me like 5 marches of 20,000 T5? Yeah, and if you'll just put them kind of like pretend like I'm an invader and just kind of spam them around like where I'm at. And it doesn't have to be an exact number, but this is something that I've seen some people make a mistake on. I wanted to might as well go ahead and show everybody. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we're gonna pretend then that Grinch is the enemy, and the 3 marches you put out is just fine. He was running invaders, and he left his troops out on the field at the skill event, and I'm coming down through his safe zone, and I see he's got 3 marches right here, and I've got my tank march. What I don't want to do is attack one march of his, and kill it, and then go to the next march. I don't want to do that because my tank march is built for counterattack. When I attack his 3 marches and he's not paying attention, he's offline, he's looking at something else, I want to attack each of these marches at the same time. So look what I'm doing here. I marched in the middle and I made them all attack me at the same time. Granted, it's going to be a completely different scenario for the guys that are just leaving the marches out. But what I'm doing is I'm activating the counterattack damage. I can do that because they are not online. So I'm as soon as I attack one march, I'm dealing normal attack damage to that march. So if I attack this one march, I'm dealing normal attack damage to that march. It's also dealing normal attack damage to me. I'm dealing counterattack damage to it. It's also dealing it to me. But the moment that I attack a second march, now my normal attack damage, instead of being on this march, it is now redirected to this second march. The counterattack damage I'm dealing stays, but the normal attack damage changes. And as soon as I change from this one over, now my normal attack damage is going after this march instead. But the counterattack damage is still going. And I still have counterattack damage going. So on and so forth. So if I attack them all and get them all attacking me, now I am dealing normal attack damage to one march, but I'm dealing counterattack damage to all of the marches. Those marches are now dealing normal attack damage to me, but only one of them is dealing counterattack damage. So this is where I get a big bang for my buck, where I can melt troops faster when they leave them out. They have less time to recall those marches to their base. That's something else you should be aware of when you're trying to get these sneaky hits in on guys. You don't want to be running out and going and mowing this guy down, and then going and mowing this guy down, and the next one. You want to get all of them at the same time. All of them. All right. Now, I'm going to teleport my base in. I'm going to be fighting Grinch. Field fighter now. I've built all tank. Should I? My base is going to be unshielded. I'm going to be a Mormon. Where should my troops be? The first thing I should do, I'm going to pull out my expanded tank march. Always expanded. Then all the rest of my troops, those are going to go where they cannot be hit. If you're running that expansion, it's even easier to quickly empty that base. Now there's no troops on my base. Go to on base. I've got 3,000 plays total. No other units. If I don't have any resources open, and I've got all my troops in like some shielded bases around me, they are removed, I can field fight to my heart's content. If they lock my base down, it's not going to matter. I am never going to have a completely full garage, so I can always heal my troops. And I can just literally, every time I'm recalling that march, I'm going down here and repairing my troops. And then as soon as those troops are repaired, I should be coming out with a full march every time. If you're going to fight this way, and I'm not going to hit, let's say I was hitting Wrench, it's putting troops in my garage. Let's say I hit him for 1 second and I go back in. So, Grinch, if you could recall your marches and just put one strong tank march out again. Just put one strong tank march out, like we did before. Now I only have my one march on my base. My other marches are they are garrisoning shielded bases nearby. Or they're garrisoning a tower that's right next to me that cannot be hit. That's key here. Something the enemy is not built to, something they can't hit. Now, if I come out and attack Grinch and I've got just enough troops on my base to fill this march, watch what happens. I have done this wrong. Forgive me, guys. We pulled this out, so it's correct. Sorry, this is an important concept. Pull my 447, I pull my max tank march out. The rest of the troops, I remove all of them from the base. Got them garrisoned somewhere. Now this is my main march. The rest of those troops are off base. When I come out and I do my 1 second hit, now if I try to come out really fast again, I have less troops available. I don't have the full march. It doesn't do me any good. I have to go in and repair these troops every single time, and I have to wait on that to finish before I can come out. That makes you too slow to operate correctly. We need speed. So when I pull my max tank march out, instead of pulling every single troop off the base, I'm going to leave a few troops on. Let's say I want to leave on. We're going to say 20,000. That's what I'm leaving on my base. That's my cushion. I've got a 20,000 unit cushion in there. And yeah, can they hit it and hurt it? They can, but they're going to take turret losses on it. I'm not going to have Grinch today because I don't want to take losses, but he's going to take some turret losses. Probably 1,000 or 2,000 units lost. Is it really worth 20,000 kills? For most players, it's not. Um, so I hit Grinch. I jump back in real quick. Now when I'm coming out, now look, I've got a little bit extra. So I can come out and hit really quick repeatedly over and over again without having to repair every single time. So I can do that quite a few times. And that's the key is again really short hits. But I don't have to go check the reports each time. I can just quickly. I want to make this rapid. It needs to be hit, reload, as fast as you can. So let's see how fast I can do this. You have to forgive me because I'm on the giant tablet, so I have to move my arm to actually hit the buttons. I'm rapid firing. Let's see if I've got it down to one. Worst case, 2 seconds. So 2 seconds for the first one. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Not too bad. Because I'm keeping it so low, there's not a great difference between those seriously damaged on the average. So I do take sometimes you are going to take more, but a lot of them it's going to be pretty even. Now I will say, Grinch Scott, he's strong. You see his AKs; these are 6-star AKs.